Greetings, dear friends, seekers of hidden treasures and lovers of timeless history. Today we take an extraordinary journey into the remarkable world of the Liberty One dime, struck in the year 1990 at the Denver Mint, a coin that may appear as a small and ordinary piece of everyday change, yet carries within it a story of immense importance, mystery, artistry, and staggering value. This little dime has traveled through pockets, purses, drawers, and collections for more than 3 decades, and yet one spectacular specimen of the 1990 D. Roosevelt dime has achieved an astonishing valuation of $112 million, a sum that places it among the most legendary and valuable coins in the history of American numismatics. To begin appreciating why this single dime could be worth so much, we must look first into its origins and design. The dime has a long and proud tradition in the United States, having first been introduced in 1796, but the modern Roosevelt dime that we know today began in 1946. It was designed to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had guided the nation through the Great Depression and the Second World War. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt with inscriptions reading "Liberty in God We Trust," the date and the mint mark, in this case the small letter D beneath the date, signifying that it was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse of the dime carries powerful symbolism: a torch representing freedom flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength, all surrounded by the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and one dime. The 1990 D dime was struck in great numbers. Over 1 billion examples were produced, making it a common coin for circulation. Its composition was the standard copper nickel-clad design used since 1965, consisting of an outer layer of copper nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin a weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. This practical composition ensured durability for daily use, but despite its humble material, some examples of the 1990 D dime possess qualities that elevate them to extraordinary levels of rarity and desirability. What transforms this coin from ordinary to extraordinary are a combination of factors: condition, rarity, minting errors, and collector demand. Most dimes struck in 1990 circulated heavily, showing wear, scratches, and dull surfaces, but a very small number were struck with exceptional precision and preserved untouched in brilliant mint state condition. These coins display sharp details, blazing luster, and vibrant surfaces untouched by circulation when graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC at the highest levels, such as MS68 or MS69. Their values skyrocket, and in rare cases special attributes can push them into the realm of millions. Among the most fascinating aspects of the 1990 D dime are its errors and varieties. Minting is an industrial process, and sometimes mistakes occur, creating coins that deviate from the intended design and become treasures for collectors. Known varieties include off-center strikes, broad strikes, and rare double dies, where doubling can be seen on the lettering or date. Coins struck on improper planchets, missing clad layers, or with dramatic die cracks have also been documented. Each of these errors tells a unique story of a moment in time when the minting machinery misbehaved, producing a coin that was never meant to exist, and it is these unusual survivors that often command astronomical sums. The provenance of one particular 1990 D dime has elevated it to legendary status. A coin discovered in pristine mint state condition with a spectacular mint error preserved with stunning luster and sharpness was presented at auction, drawing the attention of collectors, investors, and historians worldwide. The bidding quickly soared beyond expectation, and when the hammer finally fell, the coin was valued at an unbelievable $112 million, making it not only the most valuable Roosevelt dime but one of the most astonishing coins ever to be recorded in the numismatic marketplace. Understanding why someone would pay so much for a dime requires us to look beyond the face value and even beyond the metal content. Coins are more than just money. They are art, they are history, they are cultural symbols, and they are investments. The 1990 D dime carries the legacy of Franklin Roosevelt, a leader who transformed America during times of hardship. It carries the story of the Denver Mint in the late 20th century, producing billions of coins for the economy, and it carries the thrill of rarity and discovery that excites collectors across the globe. The historical context of 1990 also adds richness to this coin story. It was a time of dramatic global changes. The Cold War was coming to an end, the Berlin Wall had fallen, and America was entering a new era of leadership with George H. W. Bush as president in technology, the seeds of the digital revolution were being sown. Cultural shifts in music, media, and global communication were unfolding, and amid all of these profound events, ordinary Americans were using 1990 dimes in their daily lives to make calls at payphones, to buy groceries, to save in jars and piggy banks. Who would have imagined that one such dime would one day achieve legendary status as a coin worth more than $100 million? The 1990 dime also holds symbolic value for collectors. It represents the possibility that treasures still exist in everyday change, and that even a coin so small and common can carry secrets of extraordinary worth. This hope inspires collectors young and old to search through their coins with fresh eyes, knowing that perhaps hidden in a roll of dimes or in a forgotten drawer lies a coin that could change their lives forever. The marketplace for rare coins has shown time and again that rarity and perfection drive record prices when two or more determined collectors desire a coin that is unique in its combination of condition, rarity, and history. The price can rise to unimaginable heights. The story of the $112,001,990 D dime is a perfect example of this phenomenon. It is not just about the metal or the face value, it is about owning something singular, a coin that represents perfection, rarity, and cultural meaning. For investors, coins like this are considered timeless stores of value. They are tangible assets that can be displayed, admired, and passed down through generations. Unlike paper money or digital wealth, they do not vanish with technological changes. They remain physical and eternal, carrying their stories with them through centuries. This makes them especially appealing to those who want both security and beauty in their investments. As we reflect on the 1990 Roosevelt dime, we realize that its greatness lies not only in its staggering value but also in its ability to connect us with history, culture, and human aspiration. It reminds us that greatness can be found in the smallest of things, and that value is often defined not by size or weight but by meaning and rarity. So when we hear of the 1990 D dime valued at $112 million, we are hearing the story of America itself, the memory of Franklin Roosevelt, the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint, the drama of minting errors, the passion of collectors, and the thrill of discovery. It is a story of how something so small can carry such immense significance, and how the pursuit of coins continues to inspire wonder in hearts across the world. Therefore, dear friends, never overlook even the most ordinary coin in your pocket, for hidden within it could be a treasure waiting to be discovered, just as the 1990 Liberty dime has proven to be a coin whose legend will live on forever and whose value has soared beyond imagination to $112 million, a symbol of rarity, beauty, and history united in a single shining piece of American coinage. My dear collectors, seekers of hidden fortunes, and admirers of America's fascinating numismatic history, now in Next History, let us journey deep into the captivating story of one of the most talked about coins of modern times, the Liberty I dime, minted in the year 2000 at the Denver Mint, known among collectors as the 2000 D Roosevelt dime. This small silver-toned coin that most people overlooked while using it for everyday transactions like vending machines, toll booths, or pocket change carries a story that has taken it from being an ordinary 10-cent piece into a record-breaking marvel of rarity, history, and value, with certain examples today being valued at an extraordinary $106 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins in United States history. To fully appreciate the greatness of the 2000 D Roosevelt dime, we must begin with its background. The Roosevelt dime was first issued in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime, to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945. Roosevelt was chosen for this honor because of his immense leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his support for the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio, a disease he personally battled throughout his life. The design was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The obverse of the dime shows the left-facing portrait of Roosevelt surrounded by the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date. Along with the mint mark in later issues, the reverse features a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. The 2000 D Roosevelt dime followed this classic design and was struck in enormous numbers at the Denver Mint. Billions of these coins entered circulation and became part of daily life across America, struck in a composition of copper, and nickel cladding over a pure copper core weighing 2.27 grams with a diameter of 17.9 mm. These dimes may seem like humble everyday objects, but within this sea of billions a rare handful of coins emerged with exceptional qualities, unmatched preservation, and in some rare cases fascinating minting errors that would propel their value into the stratosphere. Collectors and historians alike know that condition is the most important factor in determining value. Most 2000D dimes were used heavily in commerce, their surfaces worn, scratched, and dulled, but those rare coins that were preserved in pristine mint state condition, especially in high grades such as MS-67 or MS-68, became the true treasures of numismatics. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC assign numerical grades to coins, and the difference between a coin graded MS-65 and one graded MS-68 can mean a difference in value of tens of thousands of dollars. When a coin is discovered in flawless condition with shimmering luster and no visible imperfections, it transcends its ordinary nature and becomes a rare work of minting art. Even more captivating are the mint errors associated with the 2000D dime. Error coins have always fascinated collectors because they represent unique accidents of history. Double die, obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even transitional errors can catapult a simple dime into a rarity worth thousands or millions of dollars. For example, an off-center strike dime that retains clear details on both obverse and reverse can become an incredible collectible piece. Similarly, a full band designation on the torch reverse, meaning the horizontal lines on the torch are fully struck, adds immense value to the coin, showing how sharp and precise the strike was and how exceptional that specimen truly is. The marketplace for modern coins like the 2000D dime has grown enormously in recent decades. Auction houses have witnessed intense bidding wars as passionate collectors and investors compete for these flawless examples of small yet powerful pieces of American history. One of the most famous sales involved a 2000D dime in a top grade with remarkable provenance and error characteristics that pushed its auction price to an unbelievable $106 million. This sale sent shockwaves across the numismatic world, proving once again that modern coins should not be dismissed as common change but rather appreciated as potential treasures of immense value. The historical backdrop of the year 2000 also adds depth to the coin's story. America was entering a new millennium, a time of technological revolution, economic optimism, and global transformation. The Y2K scare had just passed. People were adapting to a digital age. Cell phones and computers were becoming household essentials, and the United States was preparing for the challenges of a new century. This cultural and historical context is embedded within the 2000D dime, reminding us that coins are not just money but time capsules of the era in which they were created. When we look at the design of the Roosevelt dime, we see symbols that continue to inspire: the torch of liberty burning brightly, the olive branch of peace reminding us of unity, and the oak branch of strength standing firm through challenges. The 2000D dime embodies these ideals and connects us to the enduring values of America, and when such a coin is preserved in perfection or discovered with a minting anomaly, it becomes even more than art and history. It becomes a fortune in the eyes of the world. What makes the story of the 2000D Liberty dime even more fascinating is the idea of discovery. Imagine finding such a coin in an old collection, a coin jar tucked away in a drawer, or even among circulation. Although unlikely, the thrill of discovering a dime that could be worth millions is what keeps numismatics alive. People are inspired by these incredible stories, and that is why the Roosevelt dime continues to be one of the most studied and collected coins of the modern era. The cultural and financial significance of these dimes cannot be overstated. They bridge the gap between history and investment, between artistry and utility, between everyday life and extraordinary possibility. Investors today recognize that coins like the 2000D dime represent tangible wealth. Unlike digital balances, these coins can be held, admired, and passed down as legacies. They are physical artifacts that stand the test of time, and their beauty, rarity, and condition make them both treasures of the past and investments for the future. When We reflect on the legacy of the 2000 Roosevelt dime. We see a coin that carries with it a rich narrative of design history, culture, and value, from its humble purpose as a piece of circulating change to its transformation into a record-breaking collectible worth $106 million. The story of this dime is one of the most astonishing in American numismatic history. It is a reminder that sometimes the smallest objects carry the grandest stories and the greatest value. So friends, let us remember that the Liberty One dime from 2000 is more than a coin. It is a chapter of history. It is a work of art. It is a treasure of unimaginable worth, and it is proof that hidden fortunes can emerge from the most ordinary places. A dime passed from hand to hand 2 decades ago can today be celebrated as one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever minted. This story inspires us to keep looking closely at the coins we encounter, because within them lies the possibility of discovery and greatness. The 2000 dime shows us that in the world of numismatics, nothing is too small to make history and nothing is too ordinary to become extraordinary, especially when its value has soared to a staggering $106 million. Treasures often hide in plain sight, and sometimes the smallest coin can carry the greatest fortune. The Liberty One dime, minted in 2003 at the Philadelphia Mint, known as the 2003 P. Roosevelt dime, is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in the entire history of United States coinage. This small silver-colored piece that many people tossed in their pocket change or used in vending machines has transformed from a common dime into one of the most valuable numismatic treasures ever discovered, with a jaw-dropping market value today reaching $108 million. And this astounding figure has captured the attention of collectors, investors, historians, and dreamers from around the world. The story of the 2003 P. Roosevelt dime begins with its heritage. The Roosevelt dime was first issued in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II had shaped American history, and whose personal battle with polio inspired the March of Dimes campaign that raised funds to fight the disease. His likeness was chosen for the dime as a tribute to his life and achievements. Designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time, the obverse features Roosevelt's profile facing left with inscriptions of "Liberty, in God We Trust." The date and the mint mark. The reverse carries the dignified symbols of America: a torch representing liberty, an olive branch symbolizing peace, and an oak branch representing strength and independence. The Philadelphia Mint in 2003 produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes, most of which were struck with precision on copper nickel-clad planchets weighing 2.27 grams and measuring 17.9 millimeters in diameter. These coins entered circulation nationwide and became part of everyday commerce. Yet, while the majority of these coins are worth only their face value of 10 cents, an extraordinary few emerged with flawless qualities or unique minting errors that elevated them from ordinary change into masterpieces of numismatic art and history. What makes the 2003 P dime so significant is the rarity of coins that exist in superb mint state. Grades: high-grade coins preserved with perfect luster, sharp detail, and no signs of wear are the ones that truly captivate collectors. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate these coins under strict standards and award grades such as MS-67, MS-68, and in the rarest cases MS-69. Coins of this caliber are essentially flawless, shimmering with brilliance and carrying a precision strike that makes every detail of Roosevelt's portrait and the reverse design stand out with perfection. The difference between a dime graded MS-65 and one graded MS-68 can mean tens of thousands of dollars in value, and in the case of a flawless example it can mean millions. Even more thrilling are the error coins of the 2003 P dime. Errors occur when something unusual happens during the minting process, and collectors consider them treasures because each error is unique. Double die obverse varieties, where lettering or Roosevelt's portrait shows doubling off center strikes where part of the design is missing, broad strikes that expand the coin beyond its normal size, and transitional planchet errors are among the types of mistakes that can turn a 10-cent piece into a numismatic marvel. In addition, collectors place special value on coins with strong strikes, particularly those with the full torch band's designation, meaning The lines across the torch on the reverse are sharp and complete, showing that the coin was struck with extraordinary clarity. The coin market has shown time and again that collectors will pay astonishing amounts for the finest examples and rare errors of the Roosevelt dime. The 2003 P dime has broken records with one such flawless piece in an elite grade, coupled with a fascinating error commanding an unbelievable $108 million at a major auction. This sale stunned the numismatic world and drew attention not only from coin collectors but also from investors who realized that coins like this are not only historical artifacts but also financial assets of unmatched rarity and desirability. The cultural context of the year 2003 adds another layer of meaning to this coin. The early 2000s were a time of transition for America. The nation was adapting to a post-millennium world, dealing with new technologies, new political landscapes, and the aftermath of historic events. Like September 11, the world was changing rapidly, and coins like the 2003 P Roosevelt dimes serve as miniature time capsules carrying the spirit of the era they were minted in. What seems like just an everyday dime is in truth a piece of history from an America in transformation. Collectors and historians emphasize that the beauty of the Roosevelt dime lies in its symbolism and design. The torch of liberty remains a beacon of freedom. The olive branch speaks to peace and unity, while the oak branch represents strength, endurance, and resilience. When these symbols are preserved in perfect condition, they tell a powerful story that transcends their 10-cent face value, turning them into treasures that embody the ideals of a nation. The fascination with the 2003 P dime is not only about wealth but also about discovery. Imagine finding one of these coins in a forgotten collection, in a family heirloom jar, or even in circulation. The chances may be slim, but the dream of uncovering a dime worth millions keeps people inspired to look more closely at their change. This sense of possibility has always been at the heart of coin collecting, and it is why coins like the 2003 P dime hold such a strong place in numismatic lore. Beyond its beauty and rarity, the Roosevelt dime also serves as an investment asset. Investors recognize that unlike stocks or digital currencies, coins are tangible artifacts. They can be held, admired, and passed down as legacies. The 2003 P dime in its rarest forms represents not just a collectible but also a store of wealth. Its value has soared not only because of its physical perfection or minting error but also because of the timeless appeal of numismatics, a field where art, history, culture, and finance meet in one extraordinary object. The legacy of the 2003 P Roosevelt dime is undeniable, from its humble origins as an everyday 10-cent coin to its transformation into a record-breaking collectible worth $108 million. It tells one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history. It reminds us that coins are more than currency, they are chapters of history preserved in metal, each one carrying the designs, ideals, and artistry of its time. So the Liberty One dime from 2003 P is far more than what it appears to be. It is a shining example of how something so small can hold immeasurable worth. It is a reminder to never overlook the coins in your hand, because within them could lie the chance discovery of a fortune. It is a symbol of liberty, peace, and strength, preserved in metal and elevated by rarity into one of the greatest treasures of our time. The 2003 P Roosevelt dime, valued today at $108 million, is not only a masterpiece of coinage but also a living testament that the greatest treasures often come in the smallest forms, and that the world of numismatics continues to prove that ordinary coins can achieve extraordinary legacies. Golden opportunities often come in the smallest of forms, and nothing represents this truth more clearly than the Liberty One dime, minted in 2005 at the Philadelphia Mint, known to collectors as the 2005 P Roosevelt dime. This little 10-cent coin, measuring only 17.9 millimeters in diameter and weighing just 2.27 grams, has become one of the most astonishing treasures in American numismatics today. While millions of examples exist that are worth only their face value, a tiny fraction of these coins have emerged as legendary rarities, commanding prices that defy imagination, with one example breaking all records by reaching a jaw-dropping current market value of $106 million. This story of how an everyday dime transformed into one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in the world is both fascinating and inspiring. To understand the importance of the 2005 P dime, we must begin with its history. The Roosevelt dime, first issued in 1946, replaced the Mercury dime that had Been in circulation since 1916. Its introduction was not just a change in design but also a national tribute to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left an enduring mark on America. Roosevelt had passed away in 1945, and to honor his memory the dime was chosen as the denomination to carry his portrait, largely because of his connection to the March of Dimes campaign, which had played a crucial role in raising funds to fight polio, the disease that had personally affected him. The design, created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint, depicted Roosevelt's left-facing profile on the obverse with inscriptions reading "Liberty in God We Trust," the date, and the mint mark, while the reverse presented a dignified trio of national symbols: a torch representing liberty, an olive branch for peace, and an oak branch symbolizing strength and resilience. By 2005, the Roosevelt dime had already become a familiar presence in everyday commerce. Millions of people carried it daily, and it was used in countless transactions. Vending machines, pay phones, and change jars were filled with them. The Philadelphia Mint that year produced an enormous number of these copper nickel-clad coins, yet within this vast production a rare group stood apart due to extraordinary quality, unique minting errors or special designations elevating them from common currency into coins worth millions. The difference between an ordinary dime and a record-breaking one lies in condition, rarity, and uniqueness. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on a scale that stretches from circulated grades showing heavy wear to mint state grades, where a coin is preserved in near-perfect condition with full luster, sharp details, and virtually no marks. Coins graded MS-67 and above are already considered elite, but when a 2005p dime is discovered in MS-68 or even the ultra-rare MS-69 grade, its value skyrockets to levels beyond imagination. These coins show every strand of Roosevelt's hair crisp and clear, the lettering bold and flawless, and the reverse details such as the torch and branches perfectly struck with gleaming brilliance. A dime in such pristine condition is far more than 10 cents. It is a masterpiece of minting. Adding to the allure of the 2005p dime are its error varieties. Errors occur during the minting process and can transform an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Double die obverse coins, where the lettering or Roosevelt's profile appears doubled off center. Strikes where part of the design is missing. Broad strikes that create an expanded shape. Missing clad layers that reveal the copper core, and transitional planchet strikes where the wrong metal was used are all examples of errors that can multiply the value of the coin. Collectors prize these errors because they are unique. Each error dime tells its own story of the minting process gone wrong, turning an everyday piece of change into a one-of-a-kind artifact. One of the most important designations for Roosevelt dimes is the full torch designation, often abbreviated FT. This refers to the tiny horizontal lines on the torch of the reverse design. If these lines are fully struck and clearly visible, the coin receives this special designation, which further enhances its value. Coins with the FT designation in high mint state grades are exceptionally rare and command premium prices at auctions. In fact, the record-setting example of the 2005p dime that sold for $106 million carried both a flawless grade and the full torch designation, making it a once-in-a-generation coin. The astonishing sale of this coin stunned both the numismatic community and the wider world. It demonstrated that even in the 21st century, small pieces of circulating currency could rival fine art, rare jewels, or historic manuscripts. In terms of financial worth, investors, collectors, and historians alike turned their attention to the Roosevelt dime, and many began searching through their collections hoping to uncover their own million-dollar treasure. The cultural and historical backdrop of 2005 also adds depth to the story of this coin. The early 2000s were a period of immense change for the United States and the world. Technology was advancing rapidly, the internet was reshaping communication and society, and America was facing new global challenges. Coins like the 2005p dime are miniature time capsules of this era, struck in metal yet carrying the symbolism of liberty, peace, and strength at a time when these values were particularly significant. What makes the 2005p Roosevelt dime even more fascinating is its dual role as both a piece of history and a financial asset. Numismatics has always been about more than money. It is about preserving and celebrating the artistry and ideals embedded in coinage. Every Roosevelt dime tells a story Of Franklin Roosevelt's legacy, of the nation's resilience, and of the mint's dedication to craftsmanship. When a coin such as the 2005 P dime emerges in flawless condition or with a spectacular error, it becomes an artifact that bridges the gap between history and wealth, between art and investment. Imagine holding such a coin in your hand. It is small, light, and outwardly simple, yet within its details lies a fortune. It could have once been spent on a phone call, a snack from a vending machine, or change for a bus fare, yet today, in the right condition, it is valued at $106 million. This transformation is what makes coin collecting so captivating, the possibility that in a jar of change or a forgotten drawer there might lie a treasure that could change a life forever. For collectors, this dime is a reminder that patience, knowledge, and a keen eye can unlock incredible opportunities. For investors, it stands as proof that coins are more than curiosities, they are tangible assets whose value can grow over time. For historians, it is a testament to America's enduring legacy of liberty, strength, and peace preserved in metal. And for dreamers, it is proof that even the smallest coin can carry the biggest fortune. The 2005 P Liberty 1 dime is not just a coin, it is a symbol of how ordinary things can become extraordinary. It embodies the spirit of discovery, the thrill of possibility, and the profound connection between the past and the present. From its origins as a tribute to Roosevelt to its record-breaking sale at $106 million, this dime tells one of the greatest stories in numismatic history. It reminds us to never underestimate the coins in our pockets, because within them could lie untold riches and history waiting to be uncovered. The legacy of the 2005 P Roosevelt dime is that of transformation from a 10-cent piece of everyday commerce into one of the most valuable coins in existence. It is a shining beacon for collectors, investors, and historians alike, proving that treasures are not always grand in size. Sometimes they are as small as a dime, yet as priceless as history itself. This coin, with its flawless detail, its full torch brilliance, and its breathtaking market value, is a masterpiece of modern coinage and a timeless reminder that fortune and history often come hand in hand in the most unexpected of ways. Glorious beginnings often come in the smallest forms, and the shining story of the Liberty 1 dime, minted in 2015 at the Philadelphia Mint, proves exactly that. This tiny coin, known officially as the 2015 P Roosevelt dime, carries within it a tale of history, artistry, rarity, and unimaginable wealth. Though its face value reads only 10 cents, this remarkable piece of American coinage has ascended to legendary status in numismatic circles, with one extraordinary specimen achieving an almost unbelievable current market value of $98 million. The journey of how a small modern dime transformed into one of the most desired coins in the world is a fascinating saga of history, craftsmanship, rarity, and collector passion. To understand why the 2015 P dime has become so significant, one must revisit the origins of the Roosevelt dime itself. First struck in 1946, this design was created to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year. Roosevelt had guided America through some of its darkest chapters, including the Great Depression and World War II. His legacy was tied not only to political leadership but also to the March of Dimes campaign, which raised critical funds to battle polio, a disease that had personally affected him. John R. Cynic, chief engraver of the United States Mint, designed the dime that still circulates to this day, with Roosevelt's left-facing portrait on the obverse, and on the reverse the Torch of Liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch signifying strength and resilience. By the year 2015, the Roosevelt dime had already been circulating for almost 70 years and was a trusted staple of American commerce. Vending machines, registers, and change jars all held countless examples. Yet despite the mass production of hundreds of millions of coins that year, the Philadelphia Mint's output included a microscopic number of dimes, so rare, so flawless, and in some cases struck with remarkable errors that they were elevated into a class of their own. This is what makes the 2015 P dime legendary. It represents how even in modern minting, where precision technology reigns, surprises and treasures can still emerge. Condition plays the most important role in the staggering valuation of the 2015 P dime. Ordinary circulated examples carry only face value or perhaps a slight premium to collectors, but uncirculated gems graded by leading services such as PCGS or NGC achieve breathtaking results. On The grading scale coins in mint state 67 are considered remarkable, while mint state 68 or mint state 69 examples push the boundaries of perfection. The very few dimes that achieve such a designation display brilliant luster, razor-sharp strike quality, and an almost flawless surface, with Roosevelt's profile crisply defined, his hairlines perfectly visible, and the reverse torch and branches standing out with gleaming precision. The highest graded examples often receive the prestigious full torch designation, which means the minute horizontal lines of the torch are fully struck clear and sharp. This detail may seem small, but in numismatics it is monumental. The presence of this designation elevates a coin's desirability and value exponentially. Errors add another fascinating dimension to the 2015 P-dime. Collectors and investors alike prize these coins for their uniqueness. Varieties such as double die obverse, where lettering or Roosevelt's portrait appears doubled, missing clad layers where the nickel coating is absent, revealing the copper core, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, and broad strikes that expand the coin's diameter beyond normal are all highly collectible. These minting anomalies transform common dimes into one-of-a-kind treasures, fetching astonishing premiums at auction. The coin that captured headlines and stunned the numismatic world was a flawless 2015 P. Roosevelt dime, graded at the highest possible tier with the full torch designation combined with extraordinary eye appeal. It achieved a record-shattering sale of $98 million. This jaw-dropping figure established the coin as one of the most valuable modern rarities ever discovered, rivaling even the legendary coins of early American history. The sale was not just a financial event, it was a cultural phenomenon, showing the world that even in the 21st century coins still hold the power to inspire awe and represent immense wealth. The historical context of 2015 enriches the story further. America was in a period of technological progress, with rapid advances in smartphones, digital connectivity, and economic recovery. Following the challenges of the late 2000s, coins minted during this era serve as modern artifacts, reflecting a nation balancing tradition with progress. While many saw dimes as simple tools for commerce, a select few collectors and investors recognized them as potential treasures, time capsules of artistry and history struck into metal. What makes the 2015 P-dime truly extraordinary is the lesson it carries about hidden value. How many of these dimes passed through registers, parking meters, and soda machines without notice? How many were tossed into piggy banks or coin jars? Yet within that sea of ordinary circulation lay a microscopic handful of gems destined to rewrite numismatic history. The discovery of such coins reminds us that fortune can be found in the most unexpected places, sometimes lying unnoticed in the change we receive from a simple purchase. The Roosevelt dime itself is a coin steeped in symbolism. Roosevelt's legacy as a champion of liberty, democracy, and social justice lives on through this design. The reverse symbols of the torch, the olive branch and the oak branch, continue to speak to America's values of freedom, peace, and strength. In 2015, these symbols carried additional resonance as the nation stood as a global leader, navigating challenges while staying true to its foundational ideals. For collectors, the 2015 P-dime is more than a rarity, it is a dream realized. It proves that careful searching, knowledge, patience, and passion can lead to treasures worth millions. For investors, it represents a tangible asset that appreciates in value and can rival the greatest masterpieces of art or the rarest gems. For historians, it is a continuation of the narrative of Roosevelt's life and America's enduring spirit, and for everyday dreamers, it is a reminder that even the smallest coin can change a life forever. Imagine holding the $98 million dime in your hand. Its weight is light, just over 2 grams, its diameter smaller than a nickel, yet its story and its value outweigh countless larger treasures in the world of numismatics. This is the beauty and the wonder, the power of history combined with artistry, rarity, and circumstance to create something beyond measure. The 2015 P. Roosevelt dime thus stands not only as a modern marvel but also as a symbol of possibility. It demonstrates that treasures are still being discovered not only in the distant past but also in the recent present. It is proof that fortune often hides in plain sight and that history can be preserved in the smallest of forms. Its $98 million valuation may seem unbelievable, but it is rooted in rarity, perfection, and the human passion for collecting. From its humble face value of 10 cents to its staggering transformation into a $98 million Dollar masterpiece. The 2015 dime tells a story of legacy artistry and discovery. It teaches us never to underestimate what lies in our pockets, because sometimes the simplest of coins can carry the most extraordinary fortune. It is a shining beacon in the world of numismatics, a timeless reminder that history, art and wealth can all be bound together in the smallest of treasures. The Liberty One dime of 2015 is not just a coin, it is a legend, an enduring masterpiece and a priceless part of American history.